they're happy with getting the home purchased.
Oh,
It's a little
appreciate it.
challenging right now. Yeah, it's very challenging right now to find a home. So congrats to them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're excited, man. We got them on the contract in October and finally closed, man.
Ooh, it took a little while, but it worked, man. The materials, that slowdown of materials actually kind of hurt that building process, how fast they're coming out, you know?
I actually had that talk with one of the builders last night. We are out there, and they're doing a couple more communities, and that's what they're telling me is taking everything out or pushing everything out, if that makes sense. All right,
Wow.
but yeah, go ahead and get started. First off, Melvin, thank you for joining us today. Definitely appreciate all you do. You've helped me out on a couple of inspections already. So if you can just kind of introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Definitely. Hey, well, I appreciate the time and definitely be spending time with you guys. My name is Melvin Crowder. I am with Visionary Man Home Inspections, and I'm a home inspector there. Pretty much what I do is inspect homes, residential, all the way up to 4 unit commercial homes at the present time. And yeah, just enjoying the ride, man. It's a great experience. Every day, something new, something different, and I'm always getting to learn something. So I truly love the industry.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. And I know you said you're always getting to learn something. What's the biggest thing or the most important thing that you've learned so far in your career?
Um, Biggest thing I learned so far in my career as a home inspector, I would say it's um, biggest thing. Wow, I've learned a lot of things. If I had to pick one out, I say this: always look at every single home with an open mind. When I say with an open mind, like don't prejudge the builder because you had issues before. Don't prejudge, the way maybe somebody keeps the standards of their homes. Just be open minded. I'm there to look for the structural issues as well as see how things are going on less cosmetic side. Just making sure everything is secure and safety as well. So that's probably my primary focus when I'm looking at a home. Um, I would say I look at every home like it's my grandmother and my mother's home, and try to give it that outlook. So I always have a fresh perspective. Yeah, I say that's pretty much it. That's probably the biggest one. To be open
That's actually
minded.
good because since you mentioned like, no matter the builder, look at it, like its own individual one. Because I've just finished working with the builder. I heard horrible things about them in the past.
Yeah.
However, the process with the actual builders themselves was
Hmm.
smooth. You actually inspected that one for us, and any issue that we had, they not only like addressed it, like, hey, this is why I'm not gonna do it. They actually fixed it. And I was really surprised. Like I thought I was gonna have to, fight a little bit for my clients to get certain things fixed, but it was literally just shoot them over a list, and they knocked out every single one, even if it wasn't to, I guess, builder standards. I'm not sure what that looked like. Well, I do know what it looked like because I went over the contract, but it so some of the fixes weren't to builder standards or they didn't have to do it, but they did it anyways. So to your point, just treat every home like it's an individual home. That makes a lot of sense, man. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And I think too, like even with the builders, like I try to we're all out here working. Everyone's trying to do a good job, I feel like, for the most part, and really trying to give it their best. And I know me and you are people that take like a lot of pride and integrity in the way we handle clients, the way we have transactions go with us, because we realize it's somebody's family. This isn't just another transaction. This is real life. And so I try to be optimistic as I can when critiquing someone's work. Because I also think this is someone's craftsmanship. This is someone's company as well that's doing a good job. I don't want to, throw a lot of red flags out there and say some crazy stuff. So I always try to word things the right way. So hopefully that's helping you too.
Definitely. And then question for you too. I just thought about this since we're talking about new builds.
Mhm.
Um, what would you say to me hypothetically? I'm a buyer. I want to buy a new construction home, and I didn't use a buyer's agent, so I'm just working with the the sales rep at the new construction place, and they told me that I don't need an inspector because they're going to have their, guys on site go through everything, and they'll have like a final walkthrough with me. What would you tell me if I told you that?
Um, what would I tell you? I'd probably tell you, um, okay, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not a person that's gonna fight you on it. I would be curious maybe and say, hey, what kind of made you so comfortable just there, inspector? And just see where your thoughts are at it. We'll just to gain understanding. Um, Me personally, you know me for a long time. I'm the kind of person I'm going to um I trust, but trust comes over time. Trust is for me. I always have a saying that goes, "Trust is more important than love," and I think that you gotta trust who you trust and who you feel comfortable with. And so if you feel comfortable with that builder, you think they did a great job. Hey, I'm not going to sit here and put no negative juju on you about the builder or anything like that because I don't speak bad about builders or people like that. Period. But I would say, hey, maybe you ought to look into. Um, Looking at third party, just to make sure what's an extra $400 in the grand scheme of things for you to look at that versus, I hadn't spent nothing. I trusted the person's word, and maybe there's a couple things. If someone said, well, hey, have you had experience with that before? Maybe I would use our example, right? I wouldn't tell them the builder, but I would say, hey, I had a new build. We did a phase inspection. During the phase inspection, we actually were able to identify a couple areas where, hey, there were some notches in some wood, maybe things weren't done to the standards that we really want to see them. There's some areas maybe we missed insulation or we didn't nail things down or seal them properly. Maybe we didn't use the right tools. And once those drywalls and stuff go up, unfortunately, I'm not Superman. I can't see with my glass and my Clark Kent's right here and just like look through the wall. It's one of those things where, we have to take your word for it, whatever you said the builder said at that point. So um we always want to take people for integrity, but man, it never hurts to double check, right? It never hurts.
I like that. And then I guess on the kind of like same token, but a little different. I've had clients before where, pre-approved, great credit, everything like that. However, cash on hand was a little tight. What would you say to them if, it's just a resale home, not a new build, and they're thinking about not getting an inspection? What are your thoughts? What would you tell them?
Resale home, not a new build. I probably ask them, would you buy a used car without getting it inspected? And just get their opinion on it. Those are bigger purchases that you're going to make. So just think through it. Like this is a pretty big purchase, and to pay less than 1% of what the whole house is probably worth, it's probably worth it. Just to look at it. But you gotta know what you feel comfortable with. I mean, me and you both probably have seen a lot of articles about millennials and different people buying homes and not happy with their purchases. And a good bit of these people that aren't happy, they haven't done their due diligence. Like um, I'm a person, if they start asking a lot of questions about financing or different things at home, I'm gonna revert them back to the realtor because I think that's the appropriate thing to do. I'm here to look at the structure of the home. But at the same time, I look at it like this: home inspectors are like doctors, right? Like, but a doctor for a home. So if you had a doctor for your home, we're not specialists, but we're general physicians in a way. So we can tell you different nuances we see, and then we can say, hey, oh, your foot's acting up. Oh, your foundation right here is a little shaky. I'm gonna send you to the orthopedic doctor, or I'm gonna refer you to this floor specialist or this crawl space specialist. Those type of things. Same thing with the roof. You don't have the proper ventilation coming out there. I'm gonna send you to I don't know, a nose doctor, but you know what I mean. Somebody that's
Yeah.
going to help you have better ventilation, like you see in the attic or something like that. If you're especially with this time of year when they becoming more warmer, maybe it starts to get stuffy up there. I look at it more like that, and you always have to ask yourself, what do I think is best? Is it best for me to be proactive or reactive? And we kind of see how things are going on the reactive side, um, where people purchase homes, they're not happy. And it's because of reasons like I didn't get a home inspection. I didn't do my due diligence to understand how much it's going to cost to maintain this home. And it was like, well, I know Joe told you, did you write it down? No. Okay. Well,
I
I
definitely told
understand.
him.
Yeah,
Shoot, definitely did.
yeah. So I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about that idea of being, I guess, a general physician of a home?
No, I like that. I mean that it's actually smart in a way. I feel like because you're a general physician, and it kind of goes back to my philosophy as of lately as I get older. It's like I know enough to know what I don't know. So it's kind of like I might know a little bit of something, but I'll definitely refer it out to someone else if that's not my lane. Kind of like what you're saying. So it's like, you know something's wrong, this should be like this, but you're not gonna know, like you didn't go to school for, electric work, I'm assuming. You didn't go to, trade school for like the foundations. You're
Right.
not building roofs every single day.
Right.
So you're just gonna go with, what's wrong, you see what's wrong, and let's refer you out to a specialist, to A, get it fixed, or see if you're okay living with that issue. So I think that's a great idea, man. Or a great
Yeah.
analogy for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so another thing, at least in North Carolina right now, I know due diligence, the amount of money that people are putting down to go under contract on a home has gone up a lot,
Right.
way more than it has a few years ago. So, with that being said, that first walkthrough, initially, is very important. What are some things that you would have us look out for as a buyer, as a real estate agent? So our client or ourselves, if we're buying a home, are making the best decision going into it.
Yeah. So I'll always say this: when you first get into a home, if you're not going to pay attention to anything else, pay attention to the five major ticket items. That's going to be your attic, your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC system, and then your foundation, which is your floor and your slab, or whether you're in a crawl space. Um, those things are usually like five. I was what I consider like major ticket items. They're going to be higher typically. I like to call them five-figure items or more. And it's just to be aware, right? Like no one wants to get into a home you just paid for, especially with the due diligence being as high as it is. I mean, I highly doubt you have an extra $5,000 or $10,000 to just throw into that now. So um, I don't know, with the interest rates going up and everything. Hopefully, the market gets a little more competitive. I don't know if I'm answering your question directly, or we're going too far down a rabbit hole or something else.
Oh, you're
But
good, brother. You're
but
good.
hopefully, it gets a little bit more competitive where some of these sellers are going to have to either fix things. And here's the beautiful thing about a home inspection: it's a beautiful thing, and it sucks in a way for other individuals. I guess the sellers. From a seller standpoint, if you go get a home inspection ahead of time, you got to disclose anything you see. A lot of people don't tell buyers and sellers that, but anything that's found by any home inspector and they decide they do not want to, the buyer decides they're not going to move forward in that process, you got to disclose that information to the next people. Um, Now, it's not my job to disclose it. It's the job of the sellers and them because, of course, I work for the client that was there. But that it stinks in a way, but it gives somebody else peace of mind. I have a friend recently. He didn't want to do the phase inspection with us, and unfortunately, he fell into termites when they were doing the work, putting it back together. So, afterwards, he was like, "Man, I really wish I would have had you there. I know going forward, I'm gonna do a pre-inspection with you, and kind of a pre-inspection thing that we do now is like what we call a C inspection. Up
Yeah.
north, they're called walk and talks. In other areas, they call them walk and talks. Just our company, we call it C inspection. Is when we come in and we see what's going on with the actual client. So pretty much the way the process will work is when they go and see the home for their first time and they're going to go view it and tour it and everything,
So
we
this is
come with
before
them.
they go under contract, right?
Yes,
Okay, gotcha. Awesome.
we go into the home with the actual buyer itself, and we come in. We look at the foundation. We look at the kitchen and the toilets and things like that with the plumbing. We also go into electrical. We unscrew the actual box and look behind there to see what's going on with the wiring and things like that. We run the HVAC system while we're there. Being that it's a little warmer, we'll run the cooling system to see how it works. Listen to the furnace if it's a heat pump system to see how efficient it is and how it's actually working. And then we go to the attic also as well, and we check for ventilation, installation, look at the sheathing, things like that. Going outside, look at the roof, check for cupping, things like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do to be preventive in that measure. And then two, now when that person puts their house under contract, they feel a little bit more at ease because they're like, well, I had an inspector that was there with me during the time. That's a lot easier and a more peace of mind. I don't really need the inspection report, So that's been one that's been very, very doing very well for us.
Gotcha. No, that's good. I think, like, as far as that goes, is that the only reason I ask? Because I know, I work with clients all the time. So I know if they had someone like you there, it'd be, great. And also, I'm trying to figure out, like, I know it's objective, but do you get questions like, if you think this roof is going to last or this HVAC system is going to last? Like, how subjective does that go into too with the clients there?
Yeah, so like with HVAC systems, you can look at the data plate and put the numbers together and find out how long the HVAC system's been there. You can also talk to the home buyer, the home owner that's there itself, and ask them when's the last time they had a service or repair to get indications as well. But you kind of know a time frame of how long it's going to last, so you can educate the buyer there about how long you could expect it to last. Now, of course, this is an estimation.
Yeah.
It could be 10 years, it could be 10 months, so sometimes, you set that expectation as well. But certain things like roofing and things like that, it just depends on timing, weather conditions. There's a lot of different variables that just factor into that. So, I would give them an estimated, hey, this looks good. It should last you a while, but I'm also going to tell you get annual inspections that most people probably aren't going to get. Like
Makes
have your annual
sense.
maintenance on your HVAC system, which you're not going to call that guy unless he really shows up. So um, some people do it. Some people do it, and I think those are the ones where you find the good homes and you're super excited about this house because it's been maintenance or taken well care of.
Yeah. And then I guess on another note, what is the craziest thing that you've seen during a home inspection?
Woo, man, craziest thing. Oh man, you don't want to try to keep it PC here. You know, it was this one 1956 house, I believe it was,
Yeah.
in Charlotte. Man, the crawl space on that thing looks something out of a movie. I remember the guy looked at me. He looked back like, "You going in there?" I was like, "Yeah, you pay me for." So it was a crazy crawl space, a lot of mold. Definitely had a mask on then. Um, it's a lot of greenery and brownery, more than expected. You could tell moisture had been definitely intruding the area, and we definitely knew what was going on with the inside the actual house. Sad part was too, since the house was so old, it had this thing called knob and tube wiring. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever heard of that before.
I don't know exactly what it is, but I've heard of it.
It's like wires wrapped around some knobs and then a little, it's in tubeish thing. Then it's not an attractive situation, especially not today. It's a good way to probably be in a dangerous spot. And then there was a lot of scorching on the box. One of the box, the sub box was in the crawl space with moisture. I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't really safe. And then you go to the top of the house and you can see the scorching all over. And I had asked the lady, like, yeah, this works. She's like, yeah, when it rains, it gets really sparky. And I'm like, yeah, this
That's a
definitely is
sign.
not. Yeah, this is a sign, but you're soft with everyone's feelings because you're like I was saying before, you treat everybody like it's your mother, your grandmother, and sometimes you just go, they just don't know. They have
Yeah.
no idea, how bad this is, how dangerous this is. So that's probably one of the biggest ones. I'm gonna say that one.
And do you know if they stayed under contract with it or no? Or not sure?
Man, the guy was buying the house from somebody else that he knew, and he had a friend that could do the wiring and all this stuff. I remember I followed up with him and asked him how'd it go. He said the bank approved everything and I'm gonna get everything situated. He's like, me and my wife are happy. I thought to myself, hey, I did my job. Like
Yeah.
you guys are happy. That's my job, is to make you happy and help you guys out where you needed it. And that's what we did. So I was happy for him.
No, that is awesome. Shoot, that's I don't know if I would have stayed under contract with that, but I mean, it is what it is, man. Definitely. That would have scared me for sure.
It scared me too.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man, what just for everybody who's watching, what areas do you cover as far as like home inspections?
So definitely cover the Charlotte and surrounding areas, Greensboro. I went to High Point University, so anything around that area, good old HBU, the Greensboro Triad. We always love that Triad love. Um, I go to Raleigh as well because I go to that direction also, a little bit of Fayetteville. So wherever people need me at, schedule is getting more condensed to Charlotte and then a little bit of Greensboro. But I would say those are probably the primary areas I focus on: Charlotte surrounding area and then the Greensboro High Point area a little bit as well. But you can also find me on Instagram and Home Inspection Man.
Oh yeah.
Also Melvin Crowder on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter, but we have our website coming up. We've been tweaking it for the longest. Um, Thank you, Bianca, out in Virginia Beach area. She's done a wonderful job. It's not her. It's me being picky about everything and how it captures data and things like that. But that should be out really soon, probably in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
But yeah, everything's going great. Home Inspection Man on Instagram.com. That's one of the fastest ways and best ways you'll see the homes that we're doing. We like to post a lot on the story, just showing the activities that we have throughout the day. And sometimes you see the things we're doing with the community also.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. Hopefully everybody follows you on Insta and they can follow me as well while they're at it. But real quick, man, before I let you go, I want to be respectful of your time. But just for me and everyone else, I know before I first bought my home and before I got into real estate, I really didn't know why a home inspector was important. So for me now, being on the other side, I let my clients know, kind of like what you were saying, like, you know, it's a home, you might want to check under the hood. You want to make sure that what you're buying, every single fact about it because it's a huge investment, and you want to know all the problems that comes with the home if you're still okay moving forward with that investment. Is that a correct, or would you tweak that, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. If I want to add a little bit of sauce to it, maybe I would say like going back to the general physician story. Would you go on a trip, a 20 or 30-year trip, and if you had the chance to get your whole body checked before you went on the trip for $400 or $500, would you do it? You
Heck
know,
yeah.
it's just a good way to think about it. You're gonna go see the whole world. You can go through all the seasons, so many different changes. I mean, I think we had an earthquake maybe 15 years ago or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds of that happening here is low, but just the conditions. Would you want to know? Would you want to know what you needed to potentially work on? If you knew you had a weak knee, would you want to strengthen the knee up or fix it? If you knew something was going on the top of your roof, whether it's whatever condition, would you want to fix it? So I think most people do. I think that we sometimes cut corners thinking that we're doing ourselves a justice when we're really doing ourselves a disservice,
Yeah.
and we just want to keep encouraging people, hey, do what you think's best. But I definitely think a home inspection is definitely need to be a part of your list. If you listen to all these rich guys on YouTube from Stephen Graham and all these people, they tell you that stuff. They tell you if you purchase a home, have a home inspection, nothing else. It just
Yeah.
makes sense so you know what you're getting yourself into. So um, I say just reach out to the home inspectors, reach somebody you feel comfortable with, ask a friend. I always say tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
That we're out here, we're outside and we're inspecting, but reach out to a friend, ask them, hey, do you have a home inspector? Do you have somebody you use? Who do you recommend? And just gives you that peace of mind to know, hey, I might have to fix this in 10 years. I might have to fix this in 5. This is minor, but it is something that matters to me. I won't ever run the fireplace, but at least I know I can tell everybody it functions, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
No, that makes sense. Well, shoot, man. Again, like I said, I won't hold you. I definitely appreciate your time. And yeah, hopefully you can help me out on the next one that we get under contract so my client can know what's under the hood of the home, man.
I love it. I love it. Tell you got one of the best physicians in the city ready for them.
Oh, I will do, brother. Well, shoot, man. I appreciate you. And shoot, I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks, Melvin.
All right.
See you.
Later.